Do you ever feel like everyone else is getting richer while you stay stuck? There's a reason, and I'm about to explain why the rich keep growing their wealth and how you can borrow their strategies to prosper too. $4 trillion is an astounding sum, yet that's the combined increase in wealth the world's 2,365 billionaires enjoyed during the pandemic's first year, up 54% from the year before. Can you imagine your wealth multiplying that fast? It would be a dream come true, right? Meanwhile, millions lost their jobs and still haven't recovered. How can people living in the same country with the same 24 hours end up with such vastly different net worths? I believe there are 5 core reasons. Once you grasp them, you'll be on your way to a financial level you never thought possible. Number 1. Access to education. I think we can both agree that formal education's value isn't what it used to be. Still, you're generally better off with a degree than without one, and the wealthy know this. In the United States, the average salary for someone without a degree is just over $40,000, whereas those with a bachelor's typically earn around $67,000. That's a significant jump for a few years of lectures and exams, and the rich take it one step further. They know that not only what you study, but where you study matters. As a result, they often send their children to top-tier institutions. For instance, Ivy League graduates earn an average starting salary of about $87,000. That's more than many mid-career professionals with regular degrees make, and far above those without a degree. Of course, these educations aren't free, but when parents cover the cost, the next generation can focus on passing exams, enjoying college life, and earning that prestigious diploma. This leads to invaluable networking opportunities, easier access to high-paying jobs, and a near 6-figure salary right out of school, paving the way for faster wealth accumulation. Unfortunately, those without wealthy parents or scholarships can be locked into a lifetime of lower earnings, making it harder to climb the socioeconomic ladder. While more affordable pathways like Google certifications are emerging, they're still not as widely recognized. Until that changes, countless young adults risk missing out on an education that could reshape their financial futures. Number 2. Access to financial education. Now, I know what you're thinking. Didn't we just talk about education? And yes, we did, but not the type of education that really matters, which is financial education. You see, I have been fortunate enough to have spent time with many wealthy individuals over the course of my life. And one thing that I continue to see is that the rich tend to bestow a ton of financial knowledge on their family and friends. For instance, in a rich household, children are raised to understand key financial principles of saving, investing, budgeting, and the like. I know this sounds crazy to people like you and me, but some people go the majority of their lives without any handle on their money. And as you can imagine, this greatly impacts their ability to succeed financially. For instance, if you haven't been given any financial head start, have a low income, and have no idea how to create a budget and save your money, what chance do you have at getting ahead? Well, the rich ensure that this doesn't happen to those they care about the most, so they put financial education at the forefront of their children's curriculum. It's for this same reason that I make these videos to educate you and give you the leg up you need to become financially successful. And if this is something you want, let me know by hitting that like button below. However, to share knowledge, you must acquire it in the first place. And I've noticed, and you probably have too, that the rich are voracious learners. For instance, it's been said that Warren Buffett reads over 500 pages a day, and Bill Gates takes vacations to simply read and think, but the concept still rings true in many other cases. The point is, to earn, you must learn. However, to learn, you need the time to do so. When you're rich, you can generally outsource your tasks and free up time to read, take courses, connect with mentors, and the like. This is a wealth hack few people realize is taking place, but when you can harness it, the results can be overwhelming. Now, staying on the topic of financial education, one other important piece of knowledge that is shared within wealthier circles is the concept of income vehicles. In many cases, the rich are educated that not all income vehicles are created equal. For example, a job will never have the same income potential as an online business. As such, the rich guide their friends and inner circle towards opportunities with big money-making potential. Therefore, if you are feeling bad about not being an Ivy League graduate, the upside is that if you start to use income vehicles like businesses, private investments, and the like, You too can reap the financial rewards of the rich simply by employing this one important financial principle. Number 3. Access to capital. They say that it takes money to make money, and while this isn't exactly true in all cases, I can tell you firsthand that it makes things incredibly easier. In my own case, when I was making a paltry income, building wealth was near impossible. When you're saving only a couple $100 a month, no matter how consistent you are in your investing efforts, not much will transpire. However, when you make more money and ultimately have access to more capital, everything changes. And fast. Here's an example to illustrate what I mean. Say you were able to amass $100,000 in the market. At the market's historical return of 7%, based on the rule of 72, your money would double every 10 years. That means that in 10 years, you'd have $200,000, in 20 years, $400,000 in 30 years, $800,000, and in 40 years, $1.6 million. That's all without having invested an extra penny once you had $100,000 in the market. You see, the reason access to capital is so important is that it allows compound interest to start working in your favor, and the more money you have, the faster it works. For instance, if you had only $10,000 invested, at 7%, it would take a decade to double. If you had $100,000, on the other hand, it would take you just under 1.5 years to gain $10,000 in value. That's the power of capital, and we see it all the time. A good example is Elon Musk. He took his proceeds from the sale of PayPal and used that money to start Tesla, SpaceX, and SolarCity. There would be no chance he could have built all 3 companies starting from scratch, which should be all the motivation you need to start amassing more capital yourself. Number 4. Access to assets. I'm pretty sure that it's not new news to you that day after day, the gap between the rich and the poor keeps widening. And if you ask me, much of this phenomenon comes down to the assets that these 2 different groups come to own. Assets are the real key to wealth. For example, a soaring cryptocurrency has turned many everyday people into millionaires, and I've personally increased my net worth by hundreds of thousands just by buying the right assets at the right times. Sadly, most people either don't recognize how crucial assets are or don't have the money to acquire them. It's not just about knowing assets matter, it's about having access to higher growth opportunities. Middle-income earners often stick to things like homes, index funds, and cash. Sure, they're safe, but they're unlikely to make you hugely rich. Meanwhile, the ultra-wealthy usually own businesses or get in early on companies with massive upside. A Federal Reserve survey found that billionaires concentrate most of their fortunes in business interests, while those under 1 million net worth tend to hold retirement accounts or real estate with modest returns. It's not just about how many assets you hold, it's about owning the right ones. Number 5. Access to opportunities. I vividly remember working late at my consulting job while the CEO left with his golf clubs for a relaxing evening. That moment showed me how those at the top take care of themselves, and the wealthy follow the same principle, taking advantage of every opportunity they get. For instance, a rich parent might secure a high-level position for their child at a friend's company, or wealthy buddies might tip each other off about investments set to skyrocket before going public. This access to exclusive opportunities is a big reason the rich get richer. Unfortunately, most people don't enjoy these same perks, so they rely on more traditional investments like stocks, bonds, and real estate. While these can help you build wealth, they're not always as high yield as the deals the wealthy find. Still, that doesn't mean you're out of luck. Nowadays, anyone can leverage online businesses or invest in new-age assets like NFTs and crypto, sometimes scoring a massive win that can transform your financial future. The point is, the rich are getting richer, but you can too. You just need to create opportunities for yourself and seize them when they come along. Well, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and be sure to check out this video to learn more about money.